Hi drama queens! Today's episode question is, do you enjoy hosting your coworkers over at your house? Now what if you're extremely antisocial like Jiho? Let's see how he deals with this horrifying situation. So get comfy everybody and let's binge. Episode 4 starts with Jiho sitting down with Sunyan and Hae-Jin to show them that the attacker is related to Hae-Jin. Hae-Jin defends himself, saying that he was the one that rescued Sunyan, so he can't have been the attacker. No one said you are the attacker, dude. Jiho clarifies his findings that the attacker is in fact Hae-Jin's stalker. He shows them surveillance video that every time Hae-Jin passes by the building, the camera flashes would go off. He's also looked into the reason why Hae-Jin moved in the first place, and it's to get away from the stalker's harassment. The stalker must have followed Hae-Jin to his new place, misunderstood the interactions between Hae-Jin and Sunyan, and tries to harm her due to jealousy. Realizing that Jiho has done all his homework, Hae-Jin accepts the truth. Sunyan feels grateful to Jiho for the effort that he's put into finding her attacker, but she's also mad at him about something else. As he walks her down, she confronts him about why he's giving her a concert ticket but did not think to ask her to attend together. His explanation triggers her even more because he said that he got a pair of tickets as a gift and did not want to give the other one to someone he's not close to in case they misunderstand his intentions. He knows that she wouldn't read too much into it and that's why he gave it to her. Wow, this guy's dense. Someone help him. On the day of the concert, Jiho wants to avoid causing Sunyan discomfort by sitting with her and goes through the effort of exchanging his ticket with someone else. As he sits in the back in the dark, he watches her from afar. It's clear he has feelings for her, but for some reason is choosing not to go for it. As the concert ends, Jiho runs into a situation. One that none of us wants to be in. He runs into his boss. Turns out his boss is the one who gave him the concert tickets, wanting him to take a staff out to build better work relationships. Now seeing Jiho attending the concert alone, his boss is getting ready to tell him off. Sunyan shows up just in time, and Jiho quickly states that Sunyan is his wife and they came together. Sunyan is used to this. In fact, you can say that she is a pro. So she easily takes on the role and starts talking Jiho up in front of his supervisor. During their dinner conversation, Sunyan gets a feeling that Jiho's boss is quite dissatisfied with him, criticizing his lack of willingness to bond with his co-workers and feeling offended that Jiho didn't even invite him to his wedding. Sunyan goes to work, lying that Jiho often speaks highly of his colleagues at home and is just too shy to invite everyone to dinner. As for the wedding, well, there's a good reason for that too. Theirs was a shotgun wedding after all, and it's usually best not to widely publicize this. Jiho is shocked by Sunyan's imagination and ability to lie so well. But this lie is dangerous because they don't have a child, so how can this be a shotgun wedding? Before Sunyan could even explain further, the boss's wife grabs her hand protectively because she's made the assumption already that it must have been a tragedy like a miscarriage. Her sympathy for Sunyan instantly explodes, and she stops her husband from giving Jiho a hard time. The night's finally over, and Jiho lets out a big sigh of relief. As they walk back, Jiho finally reveals some of his life to Sunyan. He doesn't like to socialize with others. Is that news? He's thought about changing, but does not know how to go about it and is too proud to ask for help. At this moment, a delivery bike passes by quickly, almost bumping into Sunyan. In true Korean drama style, Jiho pulls Sunyan close and out of harm's way. Sunyan gives Jiho some professional tips on how to deal with people, jokingly saying that these are her parting advice to him. Realizing that they have already signed the divorce papers, Jiho can't resist asking her if she could consider executing their contract to the end, to which she readily agrees. The next day at breakfast, Woo's mood is very low, as the besties talk about how he had wanted to run away to Canada to avoid dealing with his family's disapproval of his sexual orientation, but now that's becoming a reality, he's realizing that he doesn't want to part with them. Do you guys get a feeling that these two will not be visiting me in Canada anytime soon? On Jiho's side, his boss is continuing to mess with his life. In his desperate desire to improve Jiho's relationship with his colleagues, he's invited everyone to Jiho's house for a family gathering without clearing it with him first. Jiho fights back and lets him know that this is a clear abuse of authority and his boss says, "Oh yeah? Then sue me." Ji-ho almost has a panic attack just picturing housing. Sunyan receives a phone call from a previous client asking for her help. Since she's supposed to be retired, Sunyan considered declining. But when she heard his situation, she rushed there to help. This client's mother has recently passed away. Sunyan has bad memories regarding this lady. She was a single mother who devoted her life to raising her children, which made her have extremely high expectations of her son and wants him to succeed in life. This includes marrying the perfect woman. However, the client is scared to get married because he doesn't want to end up with a woman as intense and critical as his mom. So he employed Sunyan to pretend to be his wife to get his mom off his back. When he felt like the timing was right for them to get divorced, the mom blamed Sunyan for everything and treated her badly, pouring water over her and calling her names. When she got sick, her dying wish was for Sunyan to show up to help her son with the funeral arrangements so he's not ridiculed by his relatives for having been divorced. Good thing no one in the family knew, so Sunyan spent the day acting like the perfect wife and grieving daughter-in-law. At the end of the day, the client's sister hands Sunyan a letter from the mom, which she read and gave to her client. In the letter, the mom explains that because she's gone through so much hardship herself, she wanted her son to have an easier life, and that's why she demanded the best of him. She also apologized to Sunyan for how she treated her and begs her to return to her son's side to keep him company. The son breaks down in tears, having felt a mother's everlasting love and worry in her dying words. Sunyan pushes a lollipop into her client's mouth, telling him that he needs something sweet when life gets bitter. She then puts her payments for the day back in the donation box before leaving. Sunyan's good at comforting people because her life is full of bitterness as well. On her drive home, she gets a call from Miss Yu, but she refuses Miss Yu's request to meet. After hanging up, she quickly eats the lollipop herself to stop the tears from flowing. On Miss Yu's side, she looked at the limited edition luxury bag that she got as a gift for Sunyan and asks herself how terrible she must have been for her to react like this. These two seem to have a very complicated relationship. When Miss Yu gets home, the landlord comes to yell at her for littering, but is quickly pacified when Miss Yu throws her the limited edition bag that she's holding. As she goes inside, a police officer comes by to ask the landlord about Miss Yu. Sunyan is having dinner with Ji-ho at this moment, and he asks her for more advice on how to deal with people. Another classic Korean drama scene follows, and Sunyan falls into Ji-ho's lap, almost landing a kiss on his lips. While they stand frozen, Sunyan gets a call about breaking news. It seems Miss Yu has been arrested for fraud in the millions of dollars. Ji-ho quickly calls someone to inquire and receives insider information that basically Miss Yu helped Kanji Group connect to some developers to initiate development on a lot of land. There are some issues with the contract, and it's likely that the Kanji Group's lead on the project, Hae-Jin's brother, used Miss Yu as the scapegoat. Ji-ho observes Sungyeon's reaction to the news and asks her if she's close to Miss Yu. She has a complicated expression on her face as she says, "No, not close. She just raised me." We're brought into a flashback of Sungyeon's childhood, where Miss Yu picked her out amongst a group of young girls from an orphanage and raised her as a princess. As a young girl, Sungyeon would often confuse Miss Yu for her mother, and whenever that happens, Miss Yu would firmly set boundaries and push her aside. The next day, Sungyeon goes to visit Miss Yu and learns the full truth. The overseas architect that she's found for this project used to have feelings for her. She thought it's been a while, so he's gotten over it, but he's still butthurt about her rejection and worked with the Ina Group to foil the partnership with Kanji Group. Even though Sungyeon claims that she's not close to Miss Yu, she takes out all her savings to bail Miss Yu out and to pay all her penalty fees. This kills her dream of starting a new life in Canada. When she tells Woo about the situation, he's not upset with her. Instead, he tells her that she should cheer herself up by going out for dinner with Ji-ho. As for Ji-ho, his boss has invited all his co-workers to his house, and then he receives a call from Sungyeon that she wants to come over for dinner. This gives him a big headache. He takes his co-workers out to the pubs, hoping to get them drunk and then shake them off. As for Hae-Jin, he's hiding out in his car from the paparazzi. There are rumors running around that he's a homosexual, possibly due to his very public encounter with Woo? I don't know. His family even called him back and pressures him to get married ASAP. He sees Sungyeon walking by on her way to Ji-ho's house and gets a wild idea. He puts a pair of sunglasses and a scarf on her and takes her in front of all the flashing cameras outside his apartment. he announces to the world that he's going to be marrying this woman. The news travels at lightning speed, and Ji-ho sees the live coverage on TV at the pub. He recognizes Sang-Eun right away and sits there totally dumbstruck. I'm standing by my initial feeling that Hae-Jin is annoying and will not be a good fit for Sang-Eun. This last stunt that he pulled is so inconsiderate. He didn't even give Sang-Eun any time to think through or agree to his actions. Since he's a celebrity in Korea, he should know how much hate celebrities' love interests get. If this is a ploy to get close to her, again, this guy is more calculating than he's portraying himself to be. Let's meet in the next episode to see where all this goes. Please subscribe and remember to turn on the notification bell so you know when the next episode drops. Bye everybody!